Hello gamers, today we're reviewing one of the most anticipated games of the year, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. After several years of waiting, the fans of the series finally got a new installment, which takes us back to 1991, during the Cold War era, a time of espionage and international conflicts. But did the developers manage to preserve the spirit of classic Black Ops, while introducing new elements to the gameplay? We'll dive deep into the story, gameplay, innovations, and much more. We'll also compare Black Ops 6 with previous titles to determine if fans of the series should be excited about this release. If you're wondering whether it's worth spending your money on this game, stay with us until the end. So sit back, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's begin our review of Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 takes place in 1991. During the final years of the Cold War, when the global political situation was unstable, and espionage operations were at their peak. Moving away from the large-scale conflicts of previous games, this title focuses on intense special operations. You step into the role of a special forces operator executing high-stakes missions amidst international crises. The plot revolves around the struggle for influence between superpowers, as well as the uncertainty and unpredictability of these conflicts. The operations you carry out are tied to intellectual and political tasks, not just direct combat. From the first moments of the game, it becomes clear that the story doesn't aim to be overly complex or convoluted. The main characters and their motivations are clear, and while the story may not offer deep psychological insights, it still keeps you engaged. You primarily face classic espionage operations, sabotage, and power struggles. This approach might feel less ambitious to some players, as earlier titles in the series often told more intricate, layered stories. However, in this case, the simplicity of the plot might actually be a strength. Focusing on the emotional experience of the missions rather than intricate political intrigues allows players to focus more on action and atmosphere. The historical period is a major strength. 1991 was a time when the world was on the brink of major changes. The Cold War was nearing its end, and international relations were in crisis. This adds a special tension and realism to the plot, as players are not just fighting for survival, but also becoming part of global events that could alter the course of history. The gameplay in Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 has received several significant changes that set it apart from previous entries in the series. The developers decided to emphasize more freedom of action and introduced new mechanics that make the game more interesting. One of the main innovations is the open location system. Now, you won't be blindly following a linear story while completing specific tasks. In Black Ops 6, some missions allow you to choose how to approach the objective, either with a stealthy approach or through an all-out gunfight. This adds more tactics and choice, making the game less linear compared to previous titles in the series. Another important addition is espionage missions, where you need to use not only your shooting skills but also strategic thinking. In these missions, you'll need to act quietly, spy on enemies, gather intel, and sometimes even engage in psychological games. This greatly expands the gameplay, introducing stealth elements. Compared to previous entries, the shooting mechanics have seen significant improvements. It's more realistic and intuitive, with enhanced animations. This is especially noticeable during firefights, where more attention is given to details such as reloading, character movements, and cover usage. The graphics in Call of Duty, Black Ops 6 look stunning, thanks to the latest rendering technologies that allow for incredibly detailed textures and realistic lighting effects. Every location looks very believable, from rainy cities to tropical jungles, and it all looks fantastic on modern PCs and consoles. The sound design is also top-notch. The sound effects are very realistic, especially when it comes to weapon sounds, explosions, and even ambient noises. The music perfectly complements the atmosphere of the game, enhancing both the action and dramatic moments. When comparing Black Ops 6 to previous titles in the series, it's immediately clear that the gameplay has become much more flexible. This isn't just a continuation of the traditional Call of Duty mechanics, but a true update that successfully blends old elements with new possibilities. Earlier titles in the series were more linear, where each mission followed one after the other, and players had little freedom of choice. In Black Ops 6, we get a lot more options for progression, tactical missions, espionage operations, and open locations where players can decide how to act. This is a significant step forward compared to previous games, where the focus was on fast-paced combat and linear missions. However, this change isn't entirely groundbreaking. Other games have been experimenting with open locations and tactical elements for a while. Still, for Call of Duty, this is a major leap forward. Well, that was my review of Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. If you've already tried the game, don't forget to share your impressions in the comments. Also, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss new videos. See you in the next review.